To whom it may concern, it has come to our attention that UPS is considering opening a facility in Graham, North Carolina. As members of the community of Graham and Alamance County, we feel it is our duty to inform you of the current political climate surrounding the highly controversial Confederate monument that sits at the heart of the city. As a company committed to uplifting communities and the principles outlined in the UPS Foundation, we urge UPS to take these conditions into account in moving forward with your partnership with our elected officials. The Confederate monument that stands in front of our county courthouse was erected in 1914 by the United Daughters of the Confederacy as part of their campaign to preserve the legacy of the lost cause and reinforce white supremacy, an act they replicated with hundreds of similar monuments across the country. As many leaders confront the painful history behind these monuments, we see even the most conservative southern towns beginning to move them. Sadly, this is not the case for Graham. It continues to overshadow the city as a perpetual reminder of white supremacy. Perhaps one of the UDC's most sinister efforts, Graham's Confederate monument is also the site of a brutal lynching of the city's first black constable and town commissioner, Wyatt Outlaw, at the hands of the KKK in 1870. Despite recent protests, the city and county leaders continue to ignore pleas to remove the monument, so it continues to serve its intended purpose, making Graham unwelcome for people of color. We have witnessed the inequality firsthand in the recent neo-Confederate rallies that the city and the county has allowed to take place, while leaders respond to peaceful Black Lives Matter demonstrations by issuing states of emergency that force demonstrations to end, and most recently declaring a free speech zone, along with other measures that restrict our First Amendment rights. We have seen hate crimes committed against our neighbors for speaking out against this hateful symbol. Even worse, we have seen our own elected officials, the very people you presented your incentive package to, endorse such actions, admit to perpetuating them, and take pride in their family's slave-owning heritage. That is why the community has called for both the City of Graham and Alamance County Commissioners to publicly recognize the racist history of this monument and to take proper steps to relocate it somewhere more appropriate, such as a museum or a cemetery. These calls have gone unanswered for years, and as the current civil rights movement is unfolding in real time, our leaders continue to ignore, intimidate, and silence dissenters while tensions and unrest continue to grow. The ACLU even had to file a lawsuit due to the stifling of our First Amendment rights by efforts from the city and the county to make the protests go away. You may have read about our plight recently in the Washington Post or seen the recent injunction granted by a federal judge. We are writing to let you know that we aren't going away. You heard us speaking at the City Council meeting August 11th. You saw us demonstrating at the County Commissioners Meeting August 17th. And our officials will continue to see and hear from us until every member of our community is as clearly valued as the next. We hope UPS will take Laura Lane's TED Talk advice and not play by the rules by including our community's demand to relocate the Confederate monument in your incentive package. Please make it clear to our government and to those looking to you for leadership in racial equity that you support the people of Graham and Alamance County. All the people. Gratefully, Alamance Alliance for Justice, Down Home NC Alamance Chapter, Forward Motion Alamance, Siembra NC, Alamance Whites Against White Supremacy, Alamance Agents for Change, and more individual citizens of Graham and Alamance County. Hello.
Hello. If you could please give us your name and your address.
My name is Meg Williams, and I don't feel safe giving my address publicly because I've been threatened by neo-Confederates in our streets who are emboldened by that monument and your continued silence. So I'm actually not here as an individual citizen anyway. I'm here as a representative of 6 different organizations based in Alamance County. Alamance Alliance for Justice, Down Home NC's Alamance Chapter.
Ms. Williams, could you hold on just a second? Are we running the clock? Because I believe there's a 5 minute time limit for, thank you, public hearings.
So again, I'm here on behalf of Alamance Alliance for Justice, Down Home NC's Alamance Chapter, Forward Motion Alamance, Siembra NC, Alamance Whites Against White Supremacy, and Alamance Agents for Change, who are all actually here to address our UPS representatives.
Okay, Ms. Williams, your comments need to be directed toward the board.
They have
not
exact,
to the-
they actually
I'm
have
sorry,
to
I'm
do
still
with their
speaking.
ends.
Ms.
I was
Williams,
speaking
I'm still
first, actually.
speaking.
You don't
I
get
don't
to
think
cough
so.
over me. It's my
Ms.
5
Williams,
minutes.
this
It's
is
my
a
5
public-
minutes, and I'm going to
this
speak
is
to
a
the
public
UPS
meeting,
representatives about their
and-
incentive package, because we're asking you to
Ms.
include
Williams,
in your incentive package.
Ms. Williams,
that
I'm
we
asking
demand
you-
to remove
Ms.
the
Williams, I'm
Confederate
asking you to
monument.
return to your seat,
As
please.
a
Being
company
disorderly,
who is
this is
why?
a
She doesn't
disorderly
listen to me?
conduct in the
She
course of
doesn't
a
listen
public
to us.
meeting.
Why do we need to listen to her?
And
If you're
You
not going to
are,
listen to your
not
constituents,
not being
why?
courteous in your language and presentation.
My language is plenty courteous. We're
You're not
here
being
to address UPS
No.
because as a company
You're
who
not
is
permitted
committed
to address
to racial
UPS. Your
equity
remarks are to
and
be
to
addressed to the board.
the principles
You're not
outlined
listening
in
to
the
the chair of
UPS
the county
Foundation,
commission.
we urge
I'm
you
asking you
take
to
the
return to
social
your seat.
conditions of our
Sheriff,
community.
if you would
Do
please
you see
take
what is
steps
happening to
because
us right
Ms.
now?
Williams is
Nope,
disrupting
I'm
a
not
public
leaving because I
meeting.
get 5 minutes to speak and I have 4.5 minutes left
You
to speak.
forfeited your right.
No, I did not
forfeited
either.
your right.
You get your hands off of me.
You get ready to get in trouble.
You did not get
Best
to put
thing
your
to do is
hands
move on out the
me.
door, lady.
Let's go this way. We asked you to be civil.
I was perfectly civil. Yes, I was. I was reading a perfectly civil professional.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, during a public meeting, or public hearing, public comments, any of those opportunities to be heard in this limited public forum, comments will be addressed to the Board of Commissioners and not to individual members of the audience for any reason. Looking for my statute, which I think I left on my desk
Clyde's
at
got it
home.
right there, I think. Clyde, you got it.
Disruption of a public meeting, statutes 143, 318, part 1, stat.
Thank you, Mr. Albright. And let the record reflect, thank you. Let the record reflect that I did ask Ms. Williams to return to her seat and she refused. Is there anybody else in the overflow room who wishes to be heard on the public and the economic development incentives for United Parcel Service? Thank you. There being no more persons to be heard on the economic development incentives for United Parcel Service, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Second. Third.
Mr. Lashley has made a motion to close the public hearing, and Ms. Vice Chair Carter has seconded it. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? So the public hearing is closed, and now we move on to entertaining a possible motion on approving the economic incentive agreement.
So moved. Second.